That's crazy, man. Cocaine white. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Substitute Club. Today we have Johnson Mack with this beautiful FD behind us. Before we get into the car, would you mind explaining a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, as Peter just said, my name's Johnson. I'm a resident of Riverside, California. I grew up in LA. I've been a SoCal guy my whole life, and I've always been into cars. Ever since I was a little toddler and got my first diecast. It was it. That was it.
It's all it took.
And watched racing on TV growing up because we were poor, so that was the only thing we could do. Wanted to get into karting, but we didn't have money.
You're not poor anymore.
Yeah. So I didn't want to be poor anymore. So I decided to go to college. Got my engineering degree.
Awesome.
So now I'm a project engineer for a packaging company.
Awesome. Yeah.
And that helped me get the car to this place. And I'm always right now. I want to do more, so I'm trying to look at other ways to make money to kind of fund the next project. So
for sure.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
The reason I chose this car was because I've always been into rotaries growing up, and in high school, a few months after I graduated in the middle of college, I bought my first FC for $500, and and then that was the start of my rotary addiction. Made a lot of friends, made a lot of really close life friends that I have a lot to thank for getting to this stage. And at first I didn't like the FD RX7 because I thought it had a really weird shape. I was really into the boxy shapes, like the R34 Skyline GTR.
S13?
Yeah, S13s. But this car didn't really grow onto me until towards high school.
Good.
But I was also into best motoring, watched a lot of Japanese timeattack, especially towards the end of high school into my college years. Watched all that stuff was the inspiration for what I want to do with this car.
So then how did you get into tracking this car, or tracking in general?
So it's funny, in college I did a lot of autocross because it was very cheap for students through their first year program. So I did that, and then I also noticed a lot of my FC friends, my friend Friz at Lucky 7 Racing, they were all doing track days at Streets of Willow. And they were like, hey, come on, come out of here, you'll have fun. I'm like, maybe I should try it out. So at the time I had finished building a Turbo 2 FC RX7, and then I went to my first track day in 2008. And it was with MozFest and Speed Ventures at Buttonwillow. So that was that. After that, the track bug bit me, and I just wanted to do it all the time. So,
what's your favorite track?
What's my favorite track? That's very hard for me to choose. I would say if I were to categorize my favorites, the most beautiful track I've ever driven on so far is obviously Laguna Seca. Really like the rolling hills and the scenery. Sometimes my eyes get lost on the track, and then I'm like, oh shit, there's a corner coming up. But my favorite local track is Auto Club Speedway. I've driven on that one probably the most out of every track, any track I've driven on. And the other track that's my really close favorite is Buttonwillow because it's a really technical track, and I really haven't quite mastered it yet. So it provides an ongoing challenge to me. So
we're all there. We're trying to improve. So
trying to get that sub 50.
There you go. Do you have a dream car?
I do. It's always and it's always going to be my dream car, and it's a Ferrari F40 in green. So I like the green one the most.
Rare, right?
Yep. I really like the all the videos I've seen of it driving, in-car footage. It just seems like a very visceral experience, and I like that in my cars.
People that are starting off, they may not have any track experience. What would you recommend to them? How do they get in? How do they start?
So it's a lot easier nowadays to get into track events and driving on a track. There's a lot of organizers out there that provide very good beginners instruction in beginners groups. So the ones I recommend are, you know, On Grid. You got Speed Ventures, and then there are some others like Corsa Club up north, Speed SF. So they're all very well organized, run by very good people with a lot of experience driving. So they'll teach you the ropes. They'll give you they'll show you like the lines. They'll build up your skill gradually so that you're confident driving on your own.
Right.
And that's really where it is, building that fundamentals. And then, you know, a lot of people knock on autocross, but that's where I grew up driving.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of skills that can be learned doing that too. And it's very cheap.
Yeah.
You know, and if you mess up, you'll just smash cones. You won't smash into a wall.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Johnson, what are we looking at?
So this is a 94 Mazda RX7. I believe it was the popular equipment package trim model that was offered during the year it was released. Obviously, it's a lot of it's not stock anymore, but we'll start from the ground up. How about that?
Sure. Yeah.
So tires are Nitto NT01. I have Nitto is a sponsor of mine.
Yep.
So really thanks to Nitto for providing a product that's super consistent on track, so I can learn.
For sure.
And really grateful for that.
Great tires.
Wheels are Volk T37s, 18 by 10.5 plus 15.
Okay.
I got these from Pristine Parts. They're good friends of mine. I bought the last set of OGs in magnesium blue that they had. So yeah, and I'm not afraid to abuse them. So they have some damage to them.
Yeah.
Brakes are APG. Got those from Pristine Parts as well. They're a company in Japan that supports some of the race teams for Attack Tsukuba, the Attack series.
Yeah.
So I got their 6-pot front with 356mm rotors.
Okay.
And a 4-pot rear with 330mm rotors.
Okay.
And it retains a stock e-brake. So
nice.
car has e-brakes.
Nice. What pads are you running?
I'm running Ray Bestos ST43 pads. They're very good. They have really long life.
Good.
And
it's a light car, so it lasts a while, right?
But the only downside is they're super noisy. So so yeah, my ears, I have to wear earplugs sometimes driving in.
That's cool. So what about suspension?
So suspension, Fortune Auto is also a big sponsor of mine.
Okay.
I've always run their suspension since 2006. I just recently installed their Dreadnought Pro 2-ways.
Oh, nice.
So just got them mounted this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. I cut some holes past the canisters through.
Yeah.
So I gotta build an access cover or a flashing for it. But I kind of like the way it turned out.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't mind. My interior's dirty.
Yeah, it's alright. It's a race car. What spring race are you running?
I'm running 18 kg front and rear.
Okay.
With the new aero setup I want to run, going up in rates makes a lot of sense, and it reduces body roll in the corners as well. So a lot of reasons for me to increase the spring rate.
So you were mentioning that you don't have a wing anymore.
Right.
So you're trying to go another route, right?
Yeah. So my friend Amir at RS Future is going to be setting me up with his LM wing.
Very cool.
30 flaps.
Yeah.
So we're looking at increased downforce as well. I also had some custom wing stand mounts that are going to be mounted to the chassis.
Oh, nice.
So this catch will be cut to accommodate that as well.
Nice. A giant diffuser.
Yep. It's by Car Shop Below in Japan.
Okay.
I actually got this through my friend Chris Johnson, who has the FD that a lot of people are familiar with, that showed at SEMA.
Oh, okay.
The yellow one. So he bought this from them, and it arrived damaged, so he fixed it and then sold it to me for a really good deal.
Nice.
And I was like, why not? I'll just run it.
This is
that's a Tanabe Medallion Touring muffler. It's a pretty quiet street exhaust. You know, I drive this on the street sometimes, so I like it to be quiet, especially at cruise. So I've had it for many years. I do have a V-band welded to the pipe in front of it, so I can swap it out for a MagnaFlow and a Laguna pipe.
Oh, cool.
When I do Laguna.
Yeah. All that red is from all that fire.
Yeah.
And then black here. Cool, cool. Let's see. How much does the car weigh?
So it weighs 2,800 pounds with me in it.
Okay.
Still has the factory doors, the factory hatch, all the factory glass still in it. So there's a lot more weight that I can take out still with carbon doors, carbon hatch, and Lexan.
Nice. So they get down to like what, 2,400 pounds?
Yeah, I'm hoping with the next build I'll be able to get it down to 2,200.
Okay.
Maybe 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
These cars are light.
Yeah, and with with 600, 700 horsepower, I think it'll be a rocket.
So how much horsepower does it have now? Sorry.
So it makes 484 at the wheels, 395 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow, that's a lot of torque actually.
Yeah. It's running a Garrett Gen 2 GTX 3582R.
Okay.
So boost response is very decent. Not as good as a Borg Warner, but still pretty good. Much better than my old setup.
Okay.
Hey, pop the hood.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood.
So simple, huh?
Yeah, it's very simple. I've simplified a lot of it, especially when it comes to the braking. I've deleted the booster, which has improved the braking performance a lot.
Nice, nice.
And as you can see, I've got the two-way reservoirs installed in the front here.
So going back to the brake, when you delete the booster, obviously the pedal gets really solid or stiff. Did it take a while for you to get used to that, or?
So it's interesting that you asked, because I resolved that issue with the really stiff pedal by modifying the pedal, the leverage ratio.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So there's a company in Australia called Hone Developments.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They make Honda parts too.
Yeah, they make Honda parts mostly.
Yeah.
And I used their Honda Civic EG, EK booster delete setup.
Oh, nice.
And modified the push rod to work with this car.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it changes the leverage point on the pedal, so that you get almost stock pedal feel.
Nice.
But even better resolution.
Nice, nice. And the Master is an OEM.
It's an OEM Mazda 929 master cylinder. So it's 1 inch.
Okay.
1/16 of an inch bigger than the stock Mazda cylinder.
Gotcha.
And it pairs well with the big brake kit.
Okay.
Which uses more volume.
Nice. And you have a proportioning valve, I see.
Yes, sir. Yep, just your standard JEGS proportioning valve. Car has no ABS, so it's all analog.
Right. And I see the AM sensor. Are you running AM Infinity?
I am running Haltech Elite 1500.
Okay.
So I just so happen to use an AEM fuel pressure sensor because it's the most reliable one I could find that's readily available.
For sure.
So I don't have to change the calibration on the ECU. But yeah, I've got all kinds of sensors on this engine that's keeping the engine alive and healthy. It's seen over 40 events.
And then the wiring is
the wiring, I made it myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my last engine that I blew was due to wiring issues. So I resolved to learn how to do wiring so that I can build my own harness.
Good.
That way, if anything goes wrong, it's my fault. So I'm continually building my skill on this. My next build is going to have a complete mil-spec sealed chassis and engine harness.
Nice, nice.
So I'm building up my skills towards that.
Oh, it's already rake cam everything.
Yep. Concentric twisted.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, they say, I think it was like 60% or more of race car failure is due to plumbing or wiring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and as you can see, I've hard plumbed a lot of the affected areas where heat might be a problem.
Nice.
Like, I don't want any hoses melting on me while I'm on track.
Are these Wiggins?
Yep, those are Wiggins.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, sometimes they're a pain to install, but I like the way they look.
Oh yeah. That's screaming money right there. And I know vacuum is a big part of rotaries, right?
On a stock twin turbo system, it is, because there's 67 vacuum hoses on a stock twin turbo RX7.
67.
So by going single turbo, I mean, all the vacuum hoses you see are right here. There's one, there's two, there's three, and there's four back there.
Gotcha.
So I only have 4 hoses to worry about, not 67.
And I hate to bring this up, but rotary engines, reliability is always a question, right?
Oh yeah.
And how were you able to combat it? Because track driving, time attack is harsh environment, right?
Yep.
So how did you combat that?
So my solution was just to learn more about how the engine operates. Learn more about what the weaknesses are in the engine, because it is a very finicky engine. It doesn't really tolerate mistakes all that well. So I decided to like acquire knowledge and learn all about it, talking with people and trying things out. So the biggest enemy of this engine is heat, and it's very intolerant of detonation and knocking. Right. So if you can solve those 2 things, right, then you'll have a really reliable engine. Gotcha. So with those 2 problems, you'll have issues with ignition that may cause a misfire, issues with your fuel system that may cause a lean mixture. So you combat those by building a more robust fuel system to support the engine, and building in fail-safes using sensors to detect those conditions where the fuel pressure drops below a certain amount. And then with the ignition, you know, what's also important is your timing control. So you want to make sure that your timing signal is perfect, that there's no noise, there's no distortions in the signal that may cause the ignition to advance or retard or do weird things. And that's how I lost my last engine. So making sure that all those things are reliable, keeping heat under control, and having a proper engine management system that can provide you the fail safes that you need, because you can't check your gauges all the time on the track. And having that system tuned properly by a competent calibration engineer, those are the key things that will keep this engine lasting. And you know, for the events, I mean, I can't say any more about it. Yeah. You know,
if any of you guys are interested in tracking your rotary engines, DM Johnson. He's got a lot of knowledge about these engines. So. And if he can't answer it, he'll get somebody that can help you. Yeah,
the community is very tight knit, and I love seeing FDs on the track. So my goal is to help see more of it. You know, I don't want to be the only guy. You know, it's me and Henry at the track all the time.
Even FCs and the RX8s.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Those are really good handling cars. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother's starting to come out more too. We just finished his FC.
Nice. And these cars are climbing so high in price, right? So
they are, and spare parts are really expensive right now. So there are a few things that I want to design new parts for, because things like the upper control arm and lower control arm, they have ball joints that are not replaceable.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
interesting.
So I am gonna get a 3D scanner and scan these parts and make new parts out of, as well as drop spindles to correct the suspension geometry. So those are kind of the things that are on my list to work on.
So you got a V-mount setup, right?
Yep. And you know, you'll see that there's no ducting. I thought about ducting, but the data at the track shows that I'm not having any cooling issues, so I haven't done any ducting for that reason.
Are these legit? What brand are they?
They're Ariamemia, but they're not legit. They're actually knockoffs that I got secondhand off my friend Alex Rodriguez. You know, back when he had his white timeattack FD. So I bought these because I was in dire need of headlights, because this car didn't come with any. So, but yeah, I do want to get the real ones soon.
Well, I'm only asking because I know they're worth a lot of money now, right?
Yeah, the new ones are like $1,300 bucks, something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, but they look a lot nicer.
Oh yeah. And are these LS coil packs?
No, those are AEM IGN 1A smart coils.
Yeah.
So they're the coil of choice for most rotary applications.
Gotcha. polished alternator.
Yeah, that's actually I traded my friend Frisk for my new one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Feed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feed throttle body, elbow. Not too many people have it.
I'm sure that's not cheap.
Nope.
And then the hood. Looks like you have track spec.
Yep, it's an OEM hood, and I cut and mounted track spec vents to it.
Nice.
These are the GT2 vents off a Corvette.
Nice.
So I figured it'll look nice on here.
Well, this is a Corvette, right?
Yeah. Put LS swaps in here.
Yeah. How about the exterior?
So the exterior is the fenders and the rear over fenders are made by Shine. They're a replica of the feed body kit. You know, I got the car with it. So you know, unfortunately, they're not original parts. The front bumper is Sanai, also made by Shine. So I got it with the car as well.
Nice. And the splitter.
The splitter, Raceberry Components is also a big sponsor of mine. They've been really good, a really big help over the years in helping me go fast. And this is their custom plywood birch splitter that they made for me, specific to this bumper.
Good.
And obviously it's seen a lot of damage.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people ask me what material this is because I have the same on my car.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like wood, but as you can see.
Yeah, so it's a birch material, birch plywood materials.
And probably like marine grade, right?
Yeah, it's marine grade, and then they coat it with this ABS coating, which provides additional durability, water resistance.
Yeah, it looks really good too.
Yeah,
I like the brand.
Yeah, it's the way to go if you don't want to risk dry carbon or carbon pieces.
Yeah.
You know, you want something that's consumable and not that expensive to run. They're the guys to go to. So really good guys.
And you can stand on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stand on it now.
Okay, cool. Obviously, you have some scraping here, so it probably weakened it a little bit, but. Alright. What kind of fuel pump are you running?
So I'm running, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have a cover on it. So it's a Radium in-tank surge unit.
Nice.
So it has a built-in surge tank to handle the fuel sloshing in the corners. It has 3 Walbro 450s in it.
Okay.
I'm only using one right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all it takes, huh?
Yeah, I want to run 2 pumps, but like I'm not making enough power to need 2 pumps. So
Are you on 91?
I'm on E85 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's capable of running flex fuel. So gas or ethanol.
Gotcha. It's APR?
Yeah, those are APR.
Nice. Would you mind showing the interior a little bit? Nice and simple.
Yep, nice and simple. The roll cage is a 6-point.
Okay.
Made by GS Works in Palmdale.
Okay.
It also came with the car when I got it.
Uh-huh.
You know, there's a few things I'd like to change to the cage, mostly for improved head clearance.
Okay.
So I'd probably redesign these bars so that I get more head clearance.
Yeah.
Seats are Sparco Pro 2000s.
Okay.
This one's a Pro 2002 on Planet Seat Rail. The seat rails I'm using for the driver's side are made by Ronin Speedworks. They mount the seat all the way to the bottom.
Nice. Yeah, I do notice it's a little bit lower, or definitely lower because it's hitting this side and on that side. Nice. Very nice. I noticed that you have a potentiometer and
yeah, so that's a battery cutoff switch.
oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. And then right next to the fuel gauge.
Okay.
The whole car is wired with a paintless harness.
Nice.
Which is an inherited thing that I got the car with.
Okay.
So I'm not too happy with the wiring, but it gets the job done. I know what to expect. I know how to troubleshoot it. So I do want to go with a PDM in the future.
Nice. And are your doors gutted?
They're not. They're actually still OEM.
Okay.
With the motors and all the structure underneath. These panels are made by Tech.
Looks very high quality.
Yeah. You have some newer ones that replace this guy. Puts it up here. So I kind of want to get that one.
Yeah, the RX7 guys are always looking for those plastics, right? Because methanol too, huh?
Yeah, that's when I'm running gas.
Okay.
I'll use that for water injection.
Water injection. Okay. Very cool. Running Garmin too.
Yep.
You like it?
Yeah, I actually like it a lot. It helps me go fast, and I recommend it to everybody that wants to get into data. I still prefer the AIM because I can compare data with other people. The Garmin, you can't really do that. But the Garmin has a lot of other features that the AIM doesn't. So I use both at times.
Cool. Oh, what LSD are you running?
I'm running an OS Giken 1.5 way. Custom tuned by, I believe, Jonathan Lugod.
Oh yeah. Very knowledgeable guy.
Very smart guy. And I'm running a RX8 444 final drive as well, so I have better rear end gearing.
You said RX8?
RX8 ring and pinion. Yeah. So 444 versus 410s.
I'm surprised they handle that much torque.
Yeah, the RX8 surprisingly is overbuilt. Even their transmission is overbuilt.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
because I see people doing like 2J swap with the RX8 transmission.
Yes,
right?
Because the triple cone synchros in that transmission
really?
make for a lot easier shifting at high RPMs.
Good. You're using stock transmission, right?
Yeah, stock FD transmission. My fifth gear kind of grinds. So I have to double clutch into it. And so I'm looking at other transmission options for the next build as well, or maybe for this car as is.
And tell me about the Nitrous System you have.
It's a NOS. I'm not really sponsored by NOS, but I like to represent them. It's it adds imaginary horsepower. Makes me think I'm faster. But it's actually a gift that my friend Alvin at Pristine Parts he threw onto the car, 7 stock one year, and it just stayed there. And it's really, it's a really nice like funny thing. Because I don't take myself too seriously.
And you have the battery mounted in the back.
Yes, an Optima yellow top.
You did a lot of wiring.
I did. It's a lot of this wiring was done kind of last minute. I wanted to get the car ready for the track, so it's not as clean as I want it. But then the wiring wasn't clean to begin with when I got the car, and so I didn't want to put the car down for too long a period of time. So I just kind of kept it like this, made it work. But I do have a new harness that I've been planning, so I'm still not sure when I'm going to build it because all that material costs money.
Gotcha. If you were to build another race car, would you buy another FD? Well, not at this price, right? But
that nobody's ever asked me that question before. But rotaries are all I know, so they're the most comfortable subject to me. And I know these cars so well. It'll be hard to go to another car unless I was really interested in learning a new platform. But if I were, I'd probably pick something a little bit more economical, like a Miata. Because I really do want to get into wheel-to-wheel racing, and that's kind of the skill set. Wheel-to-wheel racing, overtaking, racecraft. Like those are skills that I don't have yet that I want to learn. So definitely the next car I'm building will probably be something like a Miata.
Door to door.
Yeah.
Keeping Mazda, right?
Yep. Keeping it Mazda.
On this build, would you have done anything different looking back?
I think
probably would have spent a little more time cleaning up the interior. Maybe redo the cage so that it fits me better. And yeah, it's all things that I kind of I kind of cut corners on myself just to get the car ready to go on the track because I really wanted to drive it.
We all do that. Not just you. So
it's weird with me because like when I work on other people's cars, like I put a lot of effort and time making it right, making it look good for them. But when it comes to my own car, it's like I just want to drive it. You know?
Exactly.
So then you can see where I've obviously done that here. But then the important parts of the car that are critical to its reliability, like I don't cut corners on that. So that's kind of the gray area that I play in.
What was the most helpful mod on this car?
So the most helpful mod, obviously is the driver mod.
Yeah.
Taking instruction, going to classes, reading books. Like I learned car control through Nick's Fast Sideways car control clinic. As far as books, I'm a big fan of Ross Bentley, so I read his Speed Secrets. I follow his podcast.
That's a good book. Yeah.
The interviews that he has on that podcast are just amazing. Yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah, I definitely.
They all talk about their experience growing up, learning how to drive.
Nice.
And what challenges they still have today with driving, and it's usually the same basics that we all deal with.
Yeah.
Like trail braking into a corner.
Yeah.
Getting that perfect zero counter corner out of a corner. Those are all things that like really open my eyes up. Vision, keeping your vision ahead of you.
Yeah.
So, really recommend his books to anybody that's wanting to learn.
Thank you. What's the next step with this car?
There's not much left. I think with the improved aero, I'll be close to done. I just want to drive it. Just drive it a lot after that, and then plan my next build, which is going to be a lot different. And it's going to require a lot of downtime.
Same car?
Same car. It'll be this car, but stripping it down to its bare chassis, redoing the cage. Basically, everything's going to get redone. So it's going to be a long-term project that I hope to document and share with the world.
Awesome.
And I've been working with a few potential partners, and it'll probably be a SEMA build.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's like years later. Like I gotta work up my financials. To get to that point.
We all do.
Yeah.
What things about life do you learn through cars?
Mostly, persistence. Because as you're building a car, as you're working on it, there's always going to be problems that you run into. People not delivering on parts, waiting for parts not fitting. Blown engines. Waiting on new engines. You sort of lose motivation. So you kind of have to have that persistence. You kind of have to remind yourself a lot that what you're doing, because a lot of the tasks that you're doing while building a car, some of it's really boring. That you just don't want to do it, but you have to.
Yeah.
And those are things that you got to get beyond in order to finish a car. And once you're driving it, you're kind of reminded that all of it was worth it. Once you get behind the wheel and you're really enjoying the car. And it applies in life, like just keeping that focus.
Yeah.
If your goal is building a car, you'll use that same goal to everything else in your life. And that's what I'm hoping to apply as well.
For sure. So thank you, Johnson.
Yep.
Any last thing you want to mention to the audience?
Just a few people I'd like to thank.
Yeah, for sure.
So Friss and Willow at Lucky 7 Racing. They've been longtime partners.
Yeah.
Really good friends.
They have a dope FC too, right?
Yeah. It's my friend's high school car. He's had that car since high school, and we really want him to rejoin us on track again. But he's been really busy. So really big thanks to them for helping me get this far. Huge thanks to Fortunato, Race Spread Components, Pristine Parts, my tuner Nelson Silverio. He runs RRR Dyno Tuning in Texas.
Nice.
APG Brakes, and and I probably forgot some others, but
Race
Spread Components. I think I mentioned them.
Needle Tires.
Needle Tires. But yeah, a lot of people to thank. I couldn't have done this alone. And then the SoCal track community, the best. Sub 2 Club, people like you. It's really nice talking to like-minded people. So appreciate you again.
Well, thank you so much.
Yep.
Look forward to other videos coming up covering more cars. And then follow Johnson on his Instagram, on his journey. Excited to see the future of this car.
Yeah.